Hello and welcome to our Safeguarding Culture podcast series. I am your host, Madeline Dunkley, and today I am joined by Andrew Day, who is the head teacher at the Unicorn School. Good afternoon, Andrew. How are you today?
Yeah, very good, Madeline. And yourself? How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Getting all ready for Christmas, as we all are.
Absolutely, it's that frenetic time of the year, isn't it, in schools?
Absolutely. So would you like to tell everybody a bit about your school?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Unicorn School is a small specialist school specializing in supporting children with specific learning difficulty. Basically, anything with a dis in front. So we have children with dyslexia, dyspraxia, dyscalculia, and lots of things with an A in front as well. So children with attention deficit disorder, ADHD, and we have children on the autistic spectrum. But these are the high functioning, the old Asperger's term. And the goal at the school is very much to try and give the children the strategies they need so that they can go back into mainstream and then thrive.
That's great. And what is your age range of your school?
So the youngest are 8, so we go from 8 all the way up to 16, so year 4 going all the way up to year 11. Half our children, when they get to sort of GCSE age, half our children will carry on the academic route and do A levels. And then the other half will go to the local sixth form colleges and do more vocational courses, but hopefully with sort of maths, English, science behind them as well.
That's great. So how would you describe your school's safeguarding culture?
It has to be, it's got to be thorough. It has to be thorough. The big message here is that even though we're a tiny school, we've got 108 children, it could happen here. And that's the message that we have. We have a safeguarding board in the staff room with all the relative people and numbers to contact. And that's the headline of that. It could happen here. It's imperative, obviously, well, sadly, I think there is statistics out there that people who want to interfere with children are more likely to target children with specific difficulties because they can often they won't reply appropriately to it, or they won't react appropriately to it. So that's why we have to make sure it's paramount here.
Do you do any additional teaching to your children then?
Yeah, absolutely. It's we have daily PSHCE programs so that all the children get 30 minutes a day on that, so that we can highlight, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. We do social skills sessions with the children so that it's reinforced daily with them. But it's also reinforcing the staff as well. And, I have a weekly staff meeting, and we have sort of 7-minute sessions where the safeguarding lead will just lead on one particular topic that's come up recently in the local authority, so that we can highlight that with all the staff as well.
That's great. And how do you get your staff on board, or are they with you anyway when it comes to safeguarding?
Yeah, it starts very much with recruitment. So we highlight the sort of safeguarding checks that will always take place here in the hope that we discourage anybody from joining. But we do safeguarding training as part of the recruitment policy. And I know the sort of the generalist safeguarding should be done every 3 years, but we actually do it every year in September. So, and it just helps us because there's a document keeping children safe in education, and they keep modifying that every year. So we do a generalist training highlighting any changes to that keeping children safe in education document. So it's at the forefront of everything we do.
So how long have you been at the Unicorn School?
So this is my 8th year as head. I came in April 2015, and the time has flown. I can't believe I'm at that stage already.
Oh, it does go very quickly, doesn't it, when you're in schools? So over that time, then over your 8 years, what have you done to develop and create that safeguarding culture further?
I think one of the main things is that even though we are a tiny school, I've actually got 4 members of staff who have done the DSL, the Designated Safeguarding Lead training, so that there's always somebody present. And we've got some who specialise with the younger children, because we do have a primary section as well as Key Stages 3 and 4, so that they specialise in those different areas. And actually, one of the main benefits from having sort of the 4 of us there is that there's always somebody you can talk to. Because this is one of the huge things that I've brought to the governor's notice as well, is that, when you hear something truly horrific or tragic has happened, that stays with you. And sometimes it's just great having somebody else on the staff you can share that with. And obviously the 4 of us do have far more information on some of the issues that have happened at school. And it's just great having somebody else to share that with.
Absolutely. So was there many DSLs when you first started?
No, there were lots and lots of holes in the safeguarding procedures at the school. The previous head left sort of mid-role. I was interviewed and appointed, and there was a deputy head who came in. She undertook the safeguarding training herself. Fortunately, I was ahead in my previous school, so I already had it. And the priority for me when I came was to familiarise myself, not just with the children at school, but with Oxfordshire Safeguarding Children's Board, and familiarising myself with their systems as well, and understanding what support was available there.
And did you do work with visitors, parents and carers when it came to your safeguarding ethos? What did you do to get them on board as well?
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's every visitor now, when they sign in, we have an electronic signing device, and they have to read through the safeguarding information on there. There's posters around at the entrance so that they know who the designated safeguarding leads are. Visiting students, I give a very quick version of the sort of safeguarding training for them so that they're aware. And it's all the, it's share. If in doubt, just share, just talk to somebody if you're not sure. And it's the whole thing about whistleblowing as well, so that even if you're not sure about something a member of staff may have said or done, it is to share that with other professionals at the school as well. What's particularly great for a school this size, we've got a fantastic governing body. And I'm fortunate there are sort of 4 or 5 of them who are current heads or deputy heads in schools.
That's good.
And it's having that facility as well, so that I can ring up one of my governors, especially the safeguarding governor, the governor with responsibility for safeguarding, and I'm able to talk to him and share with him what's happening. And it's just having that extra expertise to call upon as well.
You said you were a head teacher in a previous school. Was that in a specialised school, or was that a mainstream school?
No, it was another specialist school. That school was a primary, so it was only going up to 11. And the difference, and especially I suppose on the mental health side, the difference between a child who's 7 or 8 suffering from anxiety and a child who's 13 or 14 is massive. And I remember the first time we had an incident here, for instance, of a child self-harming. And, I was beside myself, and I went to it's called the Oxfordshire Safeguarding Children's Board, and asking for advice from them. And sadly, it's almost becoming a frequent event now amongst the children at school. I went to a recent course with numerous head teachers, and I was talking to them because, the problem with being a standalone school like this is sometimes you think, well, is it just us? And actually, what's become clear, it is almost a pandemic with sort of mental health issues and the safeguarding concerns that come from there.
So have you always worked in specialist schools, or have you worked in mainstream as well?
No, I've taught in mainstream schools as well. And what I've found is I've always gravitated towards those children that need the extra support. Madeline, if you've got bright individuals, you could have a group of 10 or 12 in your class, very, very bright, and you could set them a task and they'd fly, and they'll fly through it without any issues. It's the 12 at the other end, or the 10 or 12 at the other end, who just need that extra support. And I just found seeing them make progress, it meant so much more to me. It left a mark on me, rather, the more able children to be honest, anybody could teach. They're like sponges. Whatever you throw at them, they'll absorb. It's
Mm.
making those other children make progress. It sort of stays with you.
Yeah. Do you feel so with the mainstream and your specialist school, is there a difference in the safeguarding practice, say, or the safeguarding ethos? Did you find? Is there a difference?
Sometimes the difference comes from the children. Sometimes the children aren't able to verbalize what
Mm.
the difficulties are, what the areas are, and you need to be experienced to be able to to get out to them. What's concerning them, why are they worried, what's happened, and so on. Whereas in a more mainstream school, it's easier for them to verbalize at times. It's easier for them to
Yeah.
verbalize what their concerns are, what their worries are. So I think that's one of the major difficulties. And also, it's our school, we've got half our children are funded by local authorities. And sometimes it's different backgrounds as well. And we've got a huge range here. I've taught at schools where it's been in a deprived area where all the children are in the same boat. Here, we've got the whole range of, quite wealthy families and also children who are from sort of the more deprived areas of Oxfordshire.
Yeah. It can be quite tough when you have extremes of different needs, isn't
Yeah,
it?
no, absolutely. And just because, the parents are wealthy or wealthier, it doesn't mean that things like neglect, especially emotional neglect, doesn't exist. Because
Yeah.
quite often, if you've got busy parents, both of whom are working, successful parents, sometimes, the children lose out at home because of that.
Mm. Yeah. I think some people do fall into the trap of there's more safeguarding issues, say, in a deprived area rather than an affluent area. It's just different, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, you're absolutely spot on.
So, sorry. Um, what would be your best piece of advice for other schools then around safeguarding culture?
I think it's highlighting the fact that it could happen anywhere and it could happen at any time. And it is the fact that everybody has to be vigilant for this. I think that's the biggest message to send out there, is the fact that we're all in this together. And we're all there to support each other as well. Because as I sort of mentioned earlier, sometimes you take a lot of it on board yourself, and especially as leaders with this, you almost try to protect the staff as much as
Yeah,
possible, and sometimes you need a level of support as well. So that would be the advice, is to get somebody, because you need somebody yourself, even as sort of DSLs or head teachers. You need other people that you can ask support or just share your own problems or concerns with as well.
absolutely. Good supervision for all, and especially head teachers who don't. They always put other people first as well, don't they?
No, absolutely. And look, there are experts out there to help. And as I said earlier, this first child who was self-harming, um, being able to go to the Oxfordshire Children's Safeguarding Board, or to make a sort of a no names referral, just hearing the calm voice on the other side of the phone saying, right, okay, thank you, this is what we need to do, thank you for sharing, and just following their advice. Because sadly, what might be something that comes up once a term or once a month with you,
Mm.
sadly, they're used to it's happening far more often.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you very much for sharing your experiences and your advice with us. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem at all, Madeline, no problem at all.